Mario! You're not gonna believe this, but our princess, she's in wave 2 of the free DLC. Be on the lookout in the Nintendo eShop.
I know that sounds bad.
Downloadable content, or DLC, has become more and more prevalent in the world of gaming. Back in the day, video games came packaged as is, as a whole complete game. What you saw was what you got. Games nowadays, though, use DLC as a way to make more money, which is fine. If I can still enjoy a complete and whole game without DLC, then so be it. Take Call of Duty, for example. They used to make optional DLC and sell it for $50, and if you never got it, you'd still have a full game at launch. Even games like Garden Warfare have free DLC, but it adds to the experience, and it wasn't necessary at launch to be a complete game. But when DLC isn't optional anymore, and it's required to get a basic experience of the game, that's where it becomes an issue. Now, not all DLC is created equal, and it is clear now that DLC is being used to sell games sooner and then fix them later. Gone are the days of not even considering DLC because the game accomplished everything it needed to. There are so many games that just suffer from this new type of DLC, it's ridiculous. It's like getting a pack of cards and them telling you, oh, we'll mail you the rest of the cards in 2 to 3 business months. Have fun. Like, no, that's not cool. Look at games like Cyberpunk 2077 that spent so much time in the oven just to come out half-baked. Like, even look at FNAF Security Breach. It was so broken, people beat it in under a minute. A minute! In the time you've been watching this video, someone has already beaten Security Breach. Think about that for a second. Like, who playtested this? Think of all the IPs affected by this too. Some that may never see another game because their publishers wanted money as soon as possible. And then there's Nintendo. Oh boy! At least Sega doesn't hide behind free DLC and gives you the whole ass game whether it's good or not. It's really sad to see the decline over the last couple of years. They've slowly started leaning on free DLC for games that would have been better if they stayed in the oven for a while longer. They went from making bangers that didn't even need free DLC but got some anyways, like Mario Odyssey, to this. Super Mario Strikers. A franchise as beloved as this better be treated with love and respect that it so rightfully deserves, right? You could guess what it got instead. Bland, boring gameplay that feels like a shell of the original game. Come on, Nintendo, give your IP some love here. For Christ's sake, Daisy wasn't even on the original roster. She's a staple of the Mario sports games. How do you fumble the bag that hard? If you wait just 2 months for when you finally have the Daisy DLC ready, instantly the game would have been better received. And we all know that it's not being so well received right now, so that would have been a big help. How are you not confident enough in your own game that you have to take important pieces and spread them out to make artificial hype? Because I'm sorry, but a few characters in a map isn't going to just make your game popular again. It's borderline mobile game tactics at this point. And this is literally what mobile games do. Release new content in bits and waves to make it more fleshed out than it actually is. It's sickening. Who wakes up at 3 a.m., checks Nintendo's Twitter accounts, and goes to download the latest free DLC? Oh. You can't even blame the consumers. They're still trying to justify their $60 purchase of FIFA 23 featuring Mario, for God's sake. What's worse is their mobile games get better treatment than this. Now that definitely sounds like a stretch. So let's calm down and let's talk about it, right? Let's look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for a second, which recently got some DLC. And then look at Mario Kart Tour. In the time we have gotten 16 courses for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we have gotten over 8 new characters and over 10 new karts and gliders for Mario Kart Tour. Not to mention 4 new tracks and a 5th one on the way. Also, I'd like to point out that 2 of the 5 new tracks are in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. So there's clearly a little bit of favoritism here. What the hell's going on, Nintendo? Okay, let's look at something besides Nintendo for a second because I feel like I'm just wombo comboing the hell out of them right now. EA, everyone's favorite, least favorite publisher. They have some pretty good games that were mentioned that actually use free DLC in a great way, like in Garden Warfare, but there are 2 sides to this devious coin that is EA's quality control. Let's look at Battlefield 2042, one of the biggest busts in recent gaming history. Poor gameplay, poor optimization, and It really was just a bad Battlefield game. Player activity for this game dropped drastically after launch, which sucked because it looked really sick from the trailers alone. Like when that dude jumped from the plane to rocket launch the other plane. That shit meant something. Well, let's take a look at the first patch notes so you can figure out why this game flopped the way it did. If you made it this far in the video, you probably already know where I'm going with this. Free updates and free DLC is what killed Battlefield. They released it in such a buggy, unplayable mess that nobody wanted to play it anymore. And by the time they fixed everything, it was way too late. Look at this rat. That's a very nice rat. I felt like I was on a Pokemon adventure trying to catch all the bugs I could find, you know? And truthfully, this game had potential. It just didn't live up to that potential. If you left it in the oven for just a little bit longer, I think this could have been one of the better Battlefield games in the series. I mean, there's a reason why people aren't playing this anymore as much as they were at launch. Hell, there's even a petition to get refunds for Battlefield still going. This huge disappointment did not go unnoticed, and millions of people had varying opinions, mostly negative, and it's apparent now. Gamers do notice this kind of stuff. And it really is sad to see EA go down this route. But then again, it's EA, so. No, all DLC isn't bad, okay? There are some good DLCs. Like, look at Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battles, okay? That Donkey Kong DLC, pretty baller, okay? It's not to say that all DLCs are bad, but recently, a lot of the free stuff has just felt like it should have been packaged in the original game. When DLC was optional and it only added to the story, it was pretty good. Games like Pokemon Sword and Shield are a good example. You could go the whole game without that $30 Game Pass. It's not required to beat the game. Could you imagine if Pokemon added gyms and waves? Buy the new Pokemon Gym Battle Season Pass to unlock gyms 5 through 8. All that for $25. It's not fair to the gamers who purchase these games. You buy a game, you expect it to be neat and polished. Like seriously, some of these games have like no quality control because what the fuck is this? What's the point of having a game released so quick if it's horrible to play until they drop bug fixes in the next 2 months? It's all for money, which is where gaming is headed. At least games like the newer Call of Duties, for example, offer free seasonal content. This is the DLC that I don't mind. Free or not, it's additional content that isn't needed to enjoy a game at launch. And that's great. When DLC's only purpose is to make a game more enjoyable, then you're doing a good job. If DLC serves as a way to fix your shitty game, then that's no good. It just sucks to see developers chase the bag over making games that will stand the test of time and resonate with people for generations. If gaming companies treated video games more delicately, they would end up making way more money than usual. Look at Mario Galaxy, for example. One of the greatest Mario games of all time, okay? It didn't have any DLC, didn't have any add-ons. It was a masterpiece. People are gonna look back on this game for generations. If I'm being real, games need to do more of this. They need to just make a game with a lot of love and passion instead of making games that are easy cash grabs. Looking at you, EA. In conclusion, video gaming should be for the consumers. It should be pro-consumer. If I'm going to spend $60 on a game, it better be finished and it better be good. If you're going to offer free DLC, please make it good DLC and not a way to package a game and ship it out just to get more sales before it's actually finished. That's how you hurt yourself. It's hurting the brand, which is weird because I'm never really like pro-consumer. I feel like one of those soy jacks, the consumer. Look at Cyberpunk. People were so hyped for that. It was like years in the making, almost a decade in the making. And look how hard it fell off. 2 months after launch, you could have bought it for like half its price. Not even Ryan's Race World or whatever it's called, Ryan's Race War, dropped that quickly, you know? Drink lots of water. It's really hot out here, boys. Yeah, brains.